10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Whew, that's an attractive thumbnail, am I right, boys? The protagonist of the movie is a high school student named Yoshiro Kamogawa. He spends most of his days aimlessly and is pretty average at studies. As far as popularity is concerned, Yoshiro is ignored by almost all the girls in his school as they believe he is a dork. But one day, everything changes. Yoshiro proceeds to climax, fantasizing about different girls. However, he has a hard time choosing one particular girl, as Yoshiro is obsessed about finding the girl of his destiny. He had already met that girl when they were inside their mother's womb in a hospital. What is happening right now? They communicated with each other telepathically and promised to meet soon, using a special jingle, which is their secret code. Now, images of his soulmate come into his mind in fragments. Yoshiro sees her waving at him, and the two kiss on their tiptoes. Back in the present, as Yoshiro thinks of her and is about to climax to the thought of that sweet fetus, a rare cosmic phenomenon takes place in outer space, and a shaft of light shines on him. He is startled, but doesn't think much of it. Elsewhere, Yoshiro's classmate Miyuko Hirano is also dreaming about having coitus, hence, she too is hit by the strange light. The next morning, when Yoshiro sits down for breakfast with his mother and her boyfriend, he is strangely able to hear their internal thoughts. Yoshiro is horrified by the lewd and lascivious thoughts of his mother and her boyfriend, so he leaves breakfast and heads out for school, still puzzled about everything. At school, he is again bombarded by everyone's internal thoughts. He telepathically hears his teacher admit to herself that she wants to be the hottest female in school, while she disciplines female students for wearing short skirts. Yoshiro is soon joined by his best friend, and the two boys watch in wonder as a beautiful girl named Sai arrives there. Sai is a new student, and Yoshiro is instantly smitten by her beauty. Suddenly, a gust of wind lifts Sai's skirt, revealing her undergarments. This gives Yoshiro and his male friend an instant and very visible hard-on. Miyuko watches it transpire from nearby, and decides to embarrass the two boys. This obviously enrages Yoshiro, so he starts berating her in his mind. To his astonishment, he realizes that Miyuko can also read people's minds when she counters his remark telepathically. In class, the teacher introduces Sai to everyone. Yoshiro again fawns over her, and he starts to wonder if Sai is the girl of his destiny. The scene then cuts to Tokyo University Professor Asami and his assistant Miss Akiyama discussing the rumors about psychic activity in the town. It turns out Professor Asami has been researching extrasensory perception, or ESP, for a while now, because of which he had become an object of ridicule among his colleagues. Elsewhere, after school, a confused Yoshiro buys a book about ESP, which includes topics like telepathy, telekinesis, teleportation, and clairvoyance. Later, on his way home, Yoshiro stops by to meet his perverted older male friend named Teru. Teru owns a restaurant and spends his free time thinking about coitus. That's so weird, no one does that. He introduces Yoshiro to adult toys, the sus, and also reveals his telekinetic power, using which he can lift objects without physically touching them. However, strangely, Teru's power is only limited to sexual objects. Imagine you get a superpower, but all it does is levitate butt plugs. The next day, Yoshiro decides to approach Sai, but on his way, he reads a fellow student, Inomoto's mind, and learns that he is planning to get naked in front of Sai and other girls. Yoshiro tries to stop him, but shockingly, Inomoto has the ability to teleport from one place to another. He goes directly inside the girls' locker room and exposes himself, but his plan fails terribly. Just then, Professor Asami and Miss Akiyama confront the new psychics and gather them at his place. During the operation, it's revealed that Miss Akiyama also has a strange psychic power. She has the power of precognition, which allows her to foresee the future of anyone who looks at her bra. The new psychics include Yoshiro, Teru, Inomoto, Miyuko, and another creepy student named Yabe. It's revealed that Yabe is clairvoyant, which gives him the ability to see through objects. Soon, Professor Asami introduces himself and explains that he has been researching ESP for a while now. He also reveals that Yoshiro and the others got their powers because of a cosmic phenomenon. It turns out they are not the first ones to acquire ESP. 200 years ago in Duluth, Minnesota, there was another psychic awakening. Cosmic rays hit the city when the planets were aligned in a particular way and imparted these powers on some people. This time, similar cosmic rays hit Japan. Yoshiro and others got the ESP because they fit a certain criteria. First, they are virgins. They had never had coitus. Second, when the rays hit town, they were all aroused. Thirdly, They noticed their power. Asami claims that he and his research team have been trying to harness this energy from space for good. He also reveals that the psychics from the American town were killed by other evil psychics. This means that there are some other psychics in this town too, and they might abuse their powers. Asami tells the group that they must protect their town from Duluth's fate. Just then, Sai appears from the washroom, and it's revealed that she is Professor Asami's daughter. The movie then cuts to the home of a ferry skipper named Akiko Kamiya, who has also acquired psychic powers. She has recently come out as a lesbian and is on a mission to find herself a girlfriend. However, because everyone ignores her, she has started misusing her power to freeze other girls and take advantage of them. That is not chill. Later that night, someone dumps tens and 100s of adult dolls in Yoshiro's high school. Professor Asami, Miss Akiyama, and some detectives quickly arrive at the scene. Upon close inspection, Asami learns that someone has laced the dolls with an aphrodisiac. He collects a sample of the drug and instructs Miss Akiyama to hide the news from Yoshiro and others to keep them from panicking. The next day, a new teacher joins Yoshiro's school. She is a Japanese-American woman named Mia Polnareff. Miss Polnareff is very sex-positive, and in her first interaction with the students, she delivers a passionate speech. She says that Earth is in a crisis, and people have lost hope. Hence, everyone should embrace love and be erotic. Hope Miss Polnareff is passionate about going to jail, too. Later, Polnareff catches Yoshiro staring at Sai, so she approaches him and places her hand over his head. Lo and behold, she reads Yoshiro's memory and claims that she is the girl of his destiny, before walking away with her two scantily clad female assistants. It turns out Polnareff is a psychic too. Meanwhile, after examining the sample from the adult doll, Professor Asami concludes that the substance is not from Earth. He fears that it could be part of the evil psychic's plan. In the next scene, we're taken to the psychic Akiko's house, where a large group of high school girls emerge, seemingly under some spell. They get on Akiko's ferry before heading off somewhere. Later, Akiko is seen standing by the river and blowing some mysterious powder over the entire town from her mouth. The next day, Teru accompanies Yoshiro and Miyuko to school, after hearing about Miss Polnareff and her erotic nature. To their surprise, they witness that all the students are dressed scantily. Soon, Miss Polnareff walks up to the trio, and using her ability, she figures out that Miyuko and Teru too have psychic powers. Not only the high schoolers, but the entire town is seemingly under some spell, and they are walking around in their undergarments. Next, a group of female cosplayers take several innocent civilians hostage at City Hall. They threaten the city's mayor to fulfill their several demands, or else they will hurt the hostages. Some of their demands are: love hotels should become free, nudist beaches should be legalized, the adult industry should be promoted, and so on. Soon, Professor Asami and that psychic pedo, Miss Polnareff, arrive at the scene, and the latter demands to speak with the leader of the protesters. Just then, Akiko steps ahead and reveals that she is behind all of this. She also reveals that she has psychic powers and goes on a rant about greedy humans. Then she orders her girls to attack Asami and the others. Suddenly, a mysterious woman appears and casts a spell on Akiko's army, instantly turning them into lifeless adult dolls. Akiko is taken aback, and she immediately flees the scene. As everyone tries to make sense of what just happened, the mysterious woman also disappears without introducing herself. After school, Sai and her friends walk past Akiko's house, unaware about the lurking danger. Sai's friends are spooked by the vibe of the house, and they run away, but Akiko manages to kidnap Sai. Later, she also makes Miyuko her victim. In no time, the town spirals out of control. Everyone has suddenly become obsessed with coitus, and they constantly have evil thoughts. Seeing all women in town wearing bikinis gives every male, except for Teru, a constant hard-on. Unable to get it up, he is embarrassed, but Miss Polnareff comforts him, saying that a man's value isn't just in his manhood, it's also in his wallet. Next, Yoshiro gets a call from Sai, and she asks him to meet in a garden. Just like his dream, Yoshiro watches Sai run up to him with her long, beautiful legs, singing the jingle and waving her hands. She thanks him for helping her father with his ESP research, before leaning in for a kiss on her tiptoes and asking him for intercourse. Yoshiro is taken aback as he didn't imagine Sai to be so forward. Suddenly, the mysterious woman from earlier appears, and she turns Sai into an adult doll, much to Yoshiro's horror. Professor Asami and the others arrive at the scene, and the woman introduces herself as Julie Babcock, a psychic from Duluth. She reveals that some psychics survived the Duluth massacre, and they went into hiding. Julie is a descendant of those psychics. She has come all the way to Japan to prevent another tragedy like that of her home city. Meanwhile, a detective tracks down Akiko's house and learns that she has been kidnapping girls from her neighborhood. She reports it to Professor Asami, and the latter quickly comes up with a plan. He sends Yoshiro disguised as a girl to lure the kidnapper towards him, while the others watch from hiding. Unfortunately, Unfortunately, Akiko spots Miss Akiyama behind a pole and proceeds to hypnotize her. But before she can do so, the psychic lady reads her future by flashing her bra. Akiko immediately runs away, and Miss Akiyama reveals that she is headed towards the city hall. Wasting no time, Professor Asami and his group head for the city hall, and there, they come across all the kidnapped girls in a passed-out state. They also find multiple girls claiming to be the real Sai in the hallway. The creepy psychic Yabe uses his clairvoyance to reveal that they are all clones. After a while, Akiko finally appears with her army of scantily dressed girls, but Julie immediately turns some of them into dolls. Furious, Akiko sends more girls to attack Yoshiro and the others, before running away. As the group deals with the army of girls, Miss Polnareff grabs Yoshiro and escorts him to safety. Yoshiro gullibly follows her, but she takes him to the stage and traps him in an enclosure. Miss Polnareff then opens the curtains, revealing 3 life-size cutouts of pregnant women. It turns out that she has held Yoshiro captive inside the womb of one of the cutouts. Whoever directed this movie has so much crap to work out. Next, it's revealed that Sai and Miyuko have been held captive in the womb of the other 2 cutouts. Yoshiro discovers this and speaks to the girls, who are distraught about their situation. To calm herself down, Miyuko starts singing this special jingle. Taken aback, Yoshiro finally realizes that the girl of his destiny is none other than Miyuko. He tells her that it's him she promised to meet after taking birth. With this, the 2 cry tears of joy, and Yoshiro finally sees the face of Miyuko in the dream sequence, running up to him with long legs. However, before they could kiss, Miss Polnareff interrupts, causing him to snap out of his dream. She then claims that she taught that song to Miyuko, much to Yoshiro's astonishment. Meanwhile, Professor Asami and his group turn Akiko's army into dolls with the help of Julie. With nowhere to go, Akiko finally accepts defeat, but warns them that her master, Miss Polnareff, will teach them a lesson. Julie then purifies her soul, and it's revealed that Akiko was only a puppet acting under Miss Polnareff's spell. With this information, Professor Asami finally figures out that the cunning Polnareff has the ability to control people's memories. She deletes, rewrites, transplants memories, and even manipulates them to suit her needs. Meanwhile, Miss Polnareff orders her henchwomen to escort Sei and Miyuko away. As she tries to get close to Yoshiro, Professor Asami and others arrive. When Teru questions her motives, Miss Polnareff asserts that she is doing all this to wipe out humanity from Earth. She hates humans because they violate nature and are greedy. Only God's chosen will remain. Miss Polnareff then claims that Yoshiro is the chosen one and expresses her love for him. She also reveals that she can't control his memory because of her feelings for him. Just then, Julie interrupts her speech and tries to purify her soul, but to her astonishment, Polnareff has no evil intentions, and in the blink of an eye, she overpowers Julie and knocks her out. The other psychics attack Miss Polnareff, but she easily defeats them and erases their memory. She then turns to Yoshiro and asks him to come with her, threatening to kill him otherwise. At first, the naive schoolboy refuses, but when Miss Polnareff mentions that the Earth's fate depends on him, he agrees. Following this, she takes him to a nursery, where she has turned Sai, Miyuko, and herself into children. Polnareff says that she wants to be a child again, because they are pure souls, unlike adults. However, Yoshiro refuses to become a child, and insists he'd rather climax and have coitus as an adult. You tell him, Yoshiro. His erotic speech soon disgusts Polnareff, as she wants to be the girl of his destiny, not a plaything. Hence, she yells in agony and decides to leave for good. After Polnareff leaves, the town returns back to normal, and everyone thanks Yoshiro for making it happen. He is no less than an avenger to them. Move over, Scott Lang, Ant-Man. Meet Hot Wang, put your hands in your pants, man. The next day, when Yoshiro reaches school, he finds all the girls singing his favorite jingle. Confused, he wonders how everyone knows about it. The movie ends as a narration reveals that Yoshiro's mother actually sat next to numerous pregnant women in a tram after she exited the hospital. From her womb, Yoshiro telepathically communicated with all the unborn girls present there. Hence, all of them are his soulmates now. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.